So if you're a golfer, you know that there are 3 parts of the golfing game. Give them to me quick. What's the first one? Frustration. Frustration is part of the game. It's not one of the 3 parts I'm talking about. First part is driving. Second part is chipping. And the third part is what? Drinking. Very good. Third part is, by the way, are we on the script or off the script? Sheet music or improv? Improv. And are you playing with me? We're like jazz musicians right now, and it's fun. You hear the laughter? I'm about to go to the sheet music, and you're not going to be having nearly as much fun. It'll be a different part of your brain that's getting tapped. Not as much laughter. So we move very quickly, and that's usually the best way to go. In a sales call, it's improv, sheet music, back to improv for the close. Just like we move from closed questions to open questions to closed questions as part of the selling process. You all knew about that? Okay. If we have time, we'll cover that more later. Back to golf. Driving, chipping, and the short game, putting. Ask any golf professional which of the 3 is the most important, and guess what they'll say? Putting. It's a short game. Ask any amateur what the most important part of the game is, and guess which part they say? Driving. It's interesting, isn't it? Because the amateur wants to get up and hit that friggin' ball as far as they can hit it. And straight, if they can do it. Right? But that's not really the essence of the game. The essence is the short game, which is the putt. And the idea is always to get on the green and 2 putt. You get on the green, you put that ball in the hole in 2 putts. That's the idea every single time. And if you can do that, you've got a pretty good golf game. Forget about driving. Just learn how to putt. That's what the pros say. I'm being a little bit dramatic. You have to know how to hit the ball a few yards. How does this relate to selling? Let's talk about this now. When you make a sales call, whether it's a call on the phone or in person, you remember this?
Well, I was going to say closing is the most important part.
That's right. Closing is the most important part. But if you can't open the call, do you ever get to the close? No. And that's why I'm going to make a case for the short game, the putting, which in this case happens in the front of the call. The short game is getting into the conversation and developing the dialogue and getting into the sales script. It's that improv that plants the wedge that gets them into the sales script. And that's why we talk about the short game. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's new for me that's been happening since I was here last time. I have opened up a complete new vertical market, quite by accident, called Rainmaker Training for Accountants. And I've spent a lot of time since I've seen you in Little Rock, Arkansas, teaching the largest accounting firm in Arkansas how to be better salespeople. It's essentially sales training. And I've had a blast. I never thought accountants could be so much fun. And it's been fun. And we've been learning about how to sell. And I will tell you, before I went in, I did a bunch of interviews with them. I said, so tell me a little bit about how you sell and how you close and all these kinds of things. And all of them, to a person, said the exact same thing. I'm really good at closing once I get into the room, once I get in front of the decision makers. I'm really good at closing. Forget about whether or not that's true. That's what they all said. And what do you think the weakness is for all of these accountants? Accountants. Which one?
Sociable?
Oh, no, not socializers. Thinkers. Thinkers in most every case, because it's numbers, right? So they all said, I'm really good at closing once I get in front of the decision maker. My problem is getting in front of the decision maker, opening up the dialogue and getting into their heads and into the appointment. And here's the message, that if you improve that short game, that little thing that opens everything up, this thing that we've been talking about most of the time today, your closing ratio will skyrocket. And those are the techniques that we're sharing with you today.